Okay, I think we can start. So hello everyone, welcome to Dean and School Representative Panel 1. I'm your panel moderator, Ryan Kwok, and today I'm joined by the board members who will be assisting me today is Quay, who will be taking you guys questions privately in the chat during the session, and Andrew, who will be the timer of the panel. So today it is an honor that we are joined by 6 school representatives who will be answering some very significant questions about their program and mission processes. The schools that are in this panel are University of Southern California, University of California, Irvine, University of the Pacific, Midwestern University, West Coast University, University of Colorado, University of Kentucky, and Keck Graduate Institute. Please welcome all of the school representatives with your virtual clapping. First off, would each representative like to introduce themselves? So in order to prevent any misunderstanding who is speaking first and who's next, I will try my best to replicate what will happen in an in-person setting panel where reps will line up on the panel table. So we can start off in order presentation, which is USC, UCI, UOP, Midwestern, West Coast, Colorado, Kentucky, and KGI.
Great, thank you, Ryan. My name is Murad Dabini. I am the Director of Enrollment Management at the USC School of Pharmacy. Nice to meet you all and appreciate you having me here today. Thank you.
Oh, so a quick apology. So there's some technical error. I think there's some misunderstanding. So it's instead instead of UCI speaking today, we have University of Washington. I would like to apologize. So I guess University of Washington can go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Bailey Clem. I am the Associate Director of Admissions and Student Professional Development with the University of Washington. Really happy to see you all today.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Ray Matsumoto. I am the Dean at the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California. Nice to see you all today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Salvatis. I'm an assistant professor of pharmacy practice over at West Coast University. Happy to be here.
I think I'm next. I'm Mike Dietrich. I'm the Associate Dean at Midwestern University College of Pharmacy. Formerly of the Glendale campus. Actually, I'm still of the Glendale campus, but we are actually merging both of our campuses, Downers Grove and Glendale, under one umbrella starting after April of this year. So we have a visit coming and we're excited about that. It's a nice future for us. So, and it's great to see you all. I really miss being there. If you can tell my background, I'm there in spirit. I'm always there in spirit. So it's good to see you all again, and hello to the people I don't know, and good to see you again for those I do. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Gail Oram. I'm the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at Keck Graduate Institute, School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. I'm happy to see all of the familiar faces and excited to talk about all of the new things that we're doing at KGI. Good morning.
Hi, I guess I'll jump in next. I'm Brian Hemstreet. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Affairs and Professor at the University of Colorado School of Pharmacy. So great to see you all. Appreciate you taking your time out of the weekend to join us today. Getting it done before all the football starts, right? Which is good.
And hello, I'm Jason Edwards. I am the Director of Recruitment for the University of Kentucky College of Pharmacy. And like Michael said, I am really sad to be in my basement instead of in Irvine, California. This is a trip that I look forward to every year. So I'm super bummed to not be there, but happy to be here at least with y'all on screen.
And that should be every representative. So thank you so much for your introductions. Please be notified that we will take your questions privately in chat as you can send them to Quay. And due to time constraints, we'll go through these questions if time allows. So for our guest speakers, please note our timer, Andrew, as he'll be updating the chat as well as his own Zoom background with 10 and 5 minutes markers for a lot of time. So without further ado, let's get into the first question. What makes your pharmacy school program or curriculum unique or special?
Thanks, Ryan. Assuming we're going to stay in order. So at USC, we were the school that launched the first PharmD program in the nation. So there's a lot of history and tradition at USC regarding our program. We are a 4-year program as well, and I think that's important to know. As many of you may know, there are some 3-year programs, accelerated programs, and things like that. So we are a 4-year and have no intentions of changing that. We also offer interprofessional experience within our curriculum. So you get to, collaborate with students from other health professions, as well as we require a scholarly project. So in your 3rd year, you're required to do a research project. So that's part of our curriculum that makes it unique. We also offer local and international rotations. So, during your IPPEs and your APPE rotations, obviously, most of your IPPEs are going to be local, but when you get to your APPE rotations in that 4th year, you can do not only local ones, you can do some nationally in Alaska, but you can do some internationally as well. And a lot of that's tied to our Trojan Family Network and the alumni that ask for our students. And also what makes us unique is we do offer areas of concentration and dual degree options. So, we know there are a lot more pharmacy schools these days, and they continue to grow. So we want our students to be able to specialize themselves and distinguish themselves when they do graduate. And so we do that through allowing students to take specialty elective courses, get an area of concentration, as well as a dual degree if they choose to do so. So thank you.
I believe I was next. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. Okay, great. I see nodding heads. So one thing that makes us unique and definitely sets us apart is going to be our location. We are located in Seattle. We're one of only 2 schools of pharmacy within the state of Washington. And it definitely is not as rainy or gray as Grey's Anatomy makes it out to be. I'm actually coming to you from sunny Seattle today, if you can believe that. So definitely our location. And Seattle has a number of health systems in the area. And so there are lots of opportunities for different areas of practice. Our students actually begin their practice during the 1st year. So we have what we call Wednesdays in practice, or WIP experiences. So during the fall quarter of their 1st year, our students actually receive experiential education placements. And every other week, they head out and begin shadowing and seeing what it's like to be a pharmacist. And they do this in a variety of different areas of practice in a variety of different areas. So right off the bat, you're getting, that experience hands-on, you really get to see. And we have been lucky enough to be able to continue that. Even though courses are virtual, our experiential educations have all stayed in person. So those 2 things definitely set us apart.
Okay, so it's the first 3-year PharmD program in the state. Been doing it a long outcomes. We tend to be very student-centered, leadership, and success-oriented. I think what makes UOP special is the diversity. So I think what makes UOP special is the diversity of offerings that we have. About 200 different student organizations, including pharmacy professional organizations, pharmacy fraternities, pharmacy honor societies. We have residential options, so you can live in the dorm on campus or off campus. In addition to our PharmD program, the School of Pharmacy has undergraduate, master's, PhD, and postgraduate industry fellowship programs. We also collaborate with the business, the law school, other health profession programs. And so this allows our students to really customize their educational experiences and training. You can also select a region in the state to conduct all of your APP rotations. And we have an extensive alumni base that is actively involved in mentoring and networking opportunities for our students. So if you are looking for options that resonate with your specific interests, come talk to us more about UOP. We're all about the options, at the same time, providing an efficient path to graduation in 3 years.
So I guess I'm next, and I get to to follow the first 3-year program in the country with the second. So we've been doing the 3-year program for well over 20 years at Midwestern University College of Pharmacy. And we know what we're doing. We have exceptional graduates. We love the 3-year program, but we also know that it takes a special person to be able to engage in that. If you listen to Justin Mao on one of the other panels, he went into that a little bit. We also have a medical campus where we see 14 other health disciplines on our campus. So we're very interprofessional. We work very closely with all of those other professions to make your experience a team approach. You have choice in your IPPEs and your APPEs. Your IPPEs, your early rotations. We actually do 2 full-length IPPE rotations at the end of your first year, 2 4-week experiences, so that you're immersed in the healthcare setting at the end of your first year. And then at the end, you do 6 6-week APPEs as your advanced rotations. You have a tremendous amount of choice in those, like others have said, both here within our area, also out of state and internationally. And we have leadership and diversity are kind of the forefront of who we are. If you look at the pharmacy class, it looks like it's from all over the world, because it is. We love the diversity. We love the richness it brings to our program. And our location is absolutely off the charts. I'd love to be outside at 75 degrees today and sunny. We are in a little bit of a warm, so it's supposed to get rain next week. Everybody will be standing outside. It's Arizona. It is not the desert you think of. It is a beautiful area with a lot of diversity, both in landscape and activities. So thank you.
I think one of the more unique aspects of West Coast University that really struck out to me coming from my alma mater was UC Irvine. We have smaller class sizes. So I know with UC Irvine, we have hundreds of students per class. But the smaller class sizes really allowed me to really build a network with my relationships professionally with my professors and with students alike. So I think that's what sets us a little bit apart from other schools. One of the other benefits of being one of the newer schools is that we have a more flexible and adaptable curriculum that really revolves around today's needs of practicing pharmacists. Pharmacists aren't necessarily just medication dispensers. We're interacting with the healthcare team. We're making recommendations. We're on the front lines of the healthcare interprofessional team. And you'll see a lot of this with a lot of the pharmacy schools. But I think that's definitely what helps sets us apart. We also are affiliated with a nursing school, physical therapy, occupational therapy, as well as one of the local medical schools within the Los Angeles area.
All right, looks like I'm up next. So at University of Colorado, so our school is located on one of the newest and largest academic medical centers in the country. And much like many of my colleagues, all of the other healthcare training programs are located on our campus. Our campus was really designed with an interprofessional education and research approach, as well as clinical care. So we have our 3 major hospitals right on our campus: University Hospital, Children's Hospital. We also have the newest VA hospital in the country on our campus as well. Along with that goes an excellent interprofessional education program. So we put you guys in interprofessional groups right from the first year throughout the remainder of your program. And then our experiential program is highly innovative, and much like many of our colleagues, we put you in clinical care sites early in the program, including full 6-week experiences before your 4th year to get you acclimated to patient care along those lines as well. We're also one of the top ranked research programs in the country. So we're typically hovering right around top 10 in NIH funding. We have a large research enterprise, lots of opportunities for students to get involved in research with our honors program. And we have a really excellent long track record of excellent residency placement programs and all the great metrics that you guys typically hear about as well. And then lastly, I'll just mention for those of you guys who have been to Colorado, Denver and Colorado in the metro area has become one of the top destinations for young professionals over the last 5 to 10 years. And I can tell you, being from the gray northeast of New York, I've been in Colorado for 20 years now, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So we have just as many sunny days as Florida, and you can ride your bike or golf and then go skiing if you want, all on the same day.
Well, for Keck Graduate Institute, School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, we have a number of outstanding features that distinguish us from other schools of pharmacy. We are a four-year program, but I believe we're one of the newer programs represented here. We opened up with our first class in 2014, and we are very excited because it has contributed to significant growth at Keck Graduate Institute. We have a number of other health sciences programs after pharmacy started, so pharmacy is kind of number one at our school, which is a great thing. We also have a Master of Science in Genetic Counseling, Master of Science in Genomic Data Analytics, and also Physician Assistant, which is coming on very soon, as well as a Doctorate in Occupational Therapy. So based on that, our focus is very strongly interprofessional. But back to the PharmD program, one of our distinguishing features is that we offer 4 PharmD certificates that students get in addition to the PharmD. We used to call it PharmD Plus, but those certificate options are healthcare management, health information technology, medication therapy outcomes, and medical and clinical affairs. And in particular the area of medical and clinical affairs, we have strong relationships with the pharmaceutical industry, and our students have the opportunity to do internships at Amgen, at Allergan, AbbVie, and we're very excited about the opportunities that those relationships have provided our students. We recently we've revised our curriculum to make it more integrated, so I don't think that's necessarily a distinguishing feature, but you start off with therapeutics pretty much in the first week. We figured out a way to do that, and we're very excited about that opportunity to offer to our students. We are in very sunny Southern California, and we are the 7th of the Claremont colleges, if you're familiar with that college system. So we do have the resources from the Claremont colleges as well. KGI is building a new medical school, and we're looking to see all the opportunities that provides our PharmD students to have even more interprofessional education with medical students from our own school. Thank you.
So the advantage to going last is hearing everybody else talk about what they do uniquely, and I feel like there are so many things that we all do similarly. So, but the University of Kentucky, we're a 4-year program as well. We have been around over 100 years, and so it's one of those programs that has sort of always been there, has always been sort of viewed as a leader, I think, in terms of pharmacy education. We do offer some dual degrees. I heard that mentioned earlier as well. So we have 4 dual degrees available, so students can graduate at the end of that 4 years with a PharmD and a master's in one of 4 areas, one of which is an MBA, public health, public administration, and pharmaceutical sciences. And so it really allows students to have sort of a well-rounded education when they complete the curriculum. Many of our students are going on to residencies after they finish the PharmD program as well. But we heard a lot about sort of interprofessional and a lot of collaboration between other medical programs on campus, and we are certainly in that boat as well. So there's a lot of collaboration with our students working through early on in the first semester of pharmacy school with medical students, PAs, nursing students, social workers, and so there is a lot of that sort of group effort that's happening as well. But we switched our curriculum up about 5 years ago as well. And so it's one of the things I really appreciate about our College of Pharmacy is that it's very progressive. It's very flexible. They're willing to throw away status quo. So if they see that there's an issue, they will look towards how they can remedy that. And so they've always been forward thinking in terms of what will pharmacy be, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, instead of that. So there's a lot of, diagnostic, students are going through those diagnostic classes as the pharmacist role is expanding to be able to be diagnosticians and to get prescriptive authority. And so it's a place that's always pushed and pushed ahead for the future to see. So that's, I think, probably my favorite thing about our program.
So moving on to the next question, what are the most important factors that an admission panel looks for when reviewing an application, and what experiences can allow an applicant to stand out?
Thank you, Ryan. So at USC, as far as what kind of important factors the admission committee looks for, I always tell students, your academic preparation. So ensuring that you have a bachelor's degree at USC, ensuring that you do well in your prerequisites. Those are all important factors. That kind of gets your foot in the door. So having the academic preparation gets your foot in the door, but it's really your soft skills, right? When we do bring you in for an interview, or we do a virtual interview with you, how you're able to communicate, problem solve, your critical thinking skills, those kinds of things can really push you over the edge and get you that admission. I think those are the things that we look for. So again, academic preparation, having the academic criteria to get your foot in the door, get you that interview. And then after that, when you do interview with us, being able to communicate and problem solve, we put you through a scenario. We've done MMIs, things like that. So being able to kind of think off your feet and being able to communicate, those kinds of things will help you get that admission, along with having a strong academic background. And then as far as experiences that help you stand out, having pharmacy experience is not a requirement to get into USC. We will train you to be the pharmacist that you want to be. So having the experience, we always felt what will help you have an advantage when you start pharmacy school. Like, you'll start understanding and knowing a little bit more of the drugs that you're going to be studying and things like that. But it's not a requirement. But if you are a pharm tech, you shadowed a pharmacist, those kinds of things, those will certainly help you in the program, I think, wherever you start. So that all in there. Thank you.
So you're probably going to hear quite a few of us saying very similar things here. And many of the admissions requirements are going to be very similar across all of our programs. So, academic preparedness, of course, is going to be important. We want to, in terms of looking at a paper, or I guess digital application, like when we look at PharmCast, that first thing we're going to see is the GPA. So we just want to ensure, and that's going to be, an indicator of how you are academically prepared and if you will academically succeed in our program, which ultimately, I think I can speak for all of us, we only want to admit students who are prepared and are prepared to succeed. Now, with that being said, in terms of on your PharmCast application, what can make you stand out? For UW, we really want to hear your story. Why pharmacy? Be able to answer that question. How did you get here? Out of all of the all of the healthcare fields that there are, why is pharmacy the one that you're going to go for? And now, one recommendation I've been making, especially within the past year, for prospective applicants, I've received the question like, well, how do I explore pharmacy now and in these times? So we love seeing applicants get creative with this. And one thing I've been recommending is informational interviews. So to see, that an applicant has done that, has taken the time to, spend 15 minutes on the phone or over Zoom with a pharmacist and find out what their day-to-day life is like and what it's like to work in a pharmacy. That's great experience. We love applicants being creative with that. So those two things are going to be some important factors, your communication skills. So that's going to be within your personal statement and any of those other items that you've kind of typed into that PharmCast application. We want to see those coming through because that's all we've got before we invite you for an interview. So just making sure that, you're really able to communicate your thoughts and your experience as well across in a written manner.
I agree with my colleagues 100% with everything that they have said. And so what I'm going to do is kind of add on to the list that they've already provided. So I think some additional things to think about as you go into the interview. I think we look for whether or not you have a good understanding of the profession. And part of that has to do with not just do you know what's out there, but do you know what you're getting yourself into? Like, what kind of knowledge, skills, and behaviors will it take for you to be successful? We're going to train you to do that. but do you know that, that that's what's coming down the pipeline, and are you prepared and ready for that to take on that challenge? We also look for resiliency. So can you function when things get tough? And that's really important in these days. And I think this year more than ever, we've seen the importance of that. We also look for strong ethical standards. So do you have the ability to do the right thing, even when it might be difficult to do that? We also are looking for people with a growth mindset. And what I mean by that is that, do you have that motivation to continuously grow and develop? Are you willing to continuously learn and better yourself? And so those are some of the things that I would add to the list that has already been brought up.
Perfect. I have to do I agree with everything everyone said. I think this is just one of those, if you go last, poor Kentucky has to add something to something that's already been piled on. I think beyond the application is for Midwestern is that we look at candidates across all spectrums and all GPAs. It's not necessarily that you got a 4.0, but it's that you have a track record of improvement. You have a track record of performance, particularly at UC Irvine, where it's not easy. We understand the rigor of your program and that you may not be the 3.8 candidate. You may be a 3.0 candidate, and that's still very valuable to us because the next step is the interview, and that's the communication piece. Pharmacists are teachers. Pharmacists are teachers, period. That's what we do. We teach the public, we teach providers, we teach everyone about medications, the appropriate use of medications. And that's what we're looking for, those who can communicate. Those who can communicate about themselves during the interview. They can put a good story together about themselves, feel comfortable talking about themselves, advocating for themselves. And then lastly, asking good questions, because this is an informed decision on both sides of the table. And you need to make an informed decision. And by demonstrating you're asking great questions, we see that you're thinking, that you're processing this whole thing that you're trying to do here, which could be 10, 15 different pharmacy schools. Maybe it's just 2. But you have decisions because you're probably going to have opportunities at more than one place, and you're going to have to make that informed decision. So I think advocate for yourself and really get in there and tell us why you want to be there. And it doesn't have to be that you were born to be a pharmacist. What has moved you in this direction now is really an important piece. So thank you.
Right. So there were a couple of things that I heard from my colleagues who went before me that really stuck out to me that I have to bring up again, because those are really important aspects as far as the application goes. As a student applying to pharmacy school, that application is really a demonstration of your ability to succeed, whether that's academically or we heard about resilience, right? So we want to make sure that the student, at least for West Coast University, is well-rounded. You can have a great GPA and everything like that, but it's really those soft skills that I heard earlier that really help you to show your personality and your motivations for pursuing pharmacy. Those soft skills are going to go through your letters of recommendation from your colleagues and your preceptors and professors. That personal statement as far as the motivations of why you're doing pharmacy. And another way for you to really show your personality that goes beyond the application is really getting to know the program itself. So making those calls, putting your best foot forward and making that initiative and asking them about the program, that's really going to help them put a face to that application. And I know there's a question later on about the interview process and tips for potential pharmacy students. So I can further elaborate on that when it comes, but really just wanted to bring out that application is a way for you to really put your best foot forward and get your foot in the door.
So as we get nearer the end, yes, I'm going to ditto everything everyone has said thus far, because I think most of us have kind of that same mindset along those lines. A couple of things I'll add, though, is you guys have kind of heard a couple of my colleagues say, we look at things other than your GPA. At Colorado, we truly do a holistic review in our admissions process, which most of us do nowadays, and look holistically at the applicant to see if they have the characteristics, not necessarily just academic, that is going to set them up for success. The other thing that we look strongly at is through the interview process, your engagement with our admissions personnel, your letters of recommendation, your statements, is do your values align with our mission and values at our university? Entering into the healthcare profession, certainly you're committing to a life of patient care, community service, in serving the public. And so we look for individuals who are motivated to do that and committed to do that. And more so as you go through the program, committed to self-reflection and improvement. So by the time you guys get out, you get in the mindset of, staying up to speed with everything that's going on, making yourself the best pharmacist that you can. And then, also things like, commitment to working with diverse patient populations and colleagues. Those are things that we highly value at our institution. And we look for those things through our interview processes and some of the things that we talk about as we work with applicants through our program as well.
Of course, I echo all of the excellent comments from the other panelists about academics and about self-reflection and growth mindset and all those things that come across. But I think one of the other things I would add, particularly for Keck Graduate Institute, is the concept of fit. And I think someone alluded to it before. Are you a good fit for our program? And is our program a good fit for you? So we value very highly those who can ask good questions, who are really considering carefully what type of pharmacist he or she would like to be, and how would our program help the student to achieve that. Another thing along those same lines that I would echo is that Keck Graduate Institute is a high-touch program. So, the interview day is very high-touch. Before that, we're very high-touch. You get in touch with faculty members. We have a number of summer programs. You can find out about our school ahead of time. You can attend any number of workshops. And it really comes across very positively when we see someone who is interviewing, who has applied, who knows a lot about our other programs, or has attended some other function at our school, or has met with some of our faculty, or has taken advantage of some resource. We really do value that. And then I would say the last thing, in addition to many others, is the concept of your own passion for your life and what you'd like to achieve. That comes through very strongly in your application materials. And I would just say, make sure that you express that in your personal statements. What are your goals in life? And to be very clear and passionate about what your goals are. Because those are our most outstanding applicants, are those who are who are able to state those very clearly and demonstrate that through their application packet.
All right, so I'm gonna drop a whole bunch of new knowledge on you guys. Ditto, essentially. I would say, for it's the same. It's the same a lot of places. For us, when we're reviewing files, it is a holistic process, but there is that initial academic hurdle that has to be cleared, obviously. So you have to have proven yourself capable academically. What I will say about that, though, is we've had students who have struggled, particularly non-traditional, and so that's maybe a little less relevant here today, but students who maybe struggled early on but have gotten it together, that positive grade trend, I think, is important for us to see. So sometimes, a C in organic chemistry is not going to disqualify you from the process. If students have retaken classes, that you don't want to see that they've withdrawn from classes or failed several classes. But if you've retaken classes where you made a C or made a D for an A or a B, it does show some initiative and shows some discipline. And so I think, don't feel like maybe you're disqualified. But I would say, once that academic hurdle is cleared and we know you're capable, then it's a holistic process where we're looking at things like pharmacy experience, again, not required, but that what you're getting into is a big part for us. Everything else, I think leadership, ways that you've been involved. We want to see students that have been involved. It doesn't have to be a lot of things, sort of heavily involved in one or two things is probably better than lightly involved in a bunch of things. And so we want to see that you have some passion, and patient care is important to you. But other than that, I would say, it's a process that's pretty similar most places that you'll apply.
Thank you for a brilliant responses, Ken. So, so in order to try to give a fair chance to every rep, is it okay if we do reverse order for this particular question? If everyone agrees, then I will go ahead. So the next question is, what are some extracurricular or community outreach programs that your students can take part in?
So service learning is a big part of our curriculum. And so all of our students are involved in some type of service activity in their first year of our program. And so that is something that we require. So obviously you're going to be doing that. There's a lot of other, students that are involved, in different ways, either on campus, if there's organizations that they're involved with on campus, obviously sort of national pharmacy student organizations. That's a big part of our culture at the program as well. But for us, I think service learning is really important. Again, as part of our curriculum, we push that to get our students out of the building, to get them invested in the community, to be working, sort of seeing that big picture of community health and working with, if it's an elementary school or if it's a health clinic or center in town, doing those kind of fairs, interacting. A lot of times you'll have students that say they're interested in pharmacy, but they're maybe interested more in research than they are that sort of direct patient care. And so we try to do a good job on the front end of talking about patient care and interaction and customer service, that kind of that aspect of it. And so we really sort of throw them into that first year so that they're comfortable in that environment, that they know that the role is one of service, that it is, it's a healthcare field and you're doing patient care. And so I would say, through rotations, but certainly through organizations within the college, community service is a big thing for us.
At KGI, School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, I mentioned in my first set of remarks that we were the first health professions program in the Claremont colleges. And so that has afforded us a number of opportunities to serve the colleges. So a lot of our students, they've done flu immunization clinics for all their other colleagues on the other Claremont colleges. Our students are very active in professional organizations, and they partner with those and other organizations to do drug take-back days. There's outreach to the unhoused. We are about 35 miles east of Los Angeles, and if you're familiar with that, you're familiar with the problems of the homeless / unhoused in the city of Los Angeles, and I would say Los Angeles County, where we're still in Los Angeles County. And our students have done a number of outreach programs for not only screenings, vaccines, various fundraisers. The students have also partnered with the juvenile diabetes to help those individuals that are affected. I'm very excited also about students who are engaged in their own leadership initiatives. So we've had some students who have done internships at other schools and other institutions. We had a student who did an internship in health information technology at Harvard, Beth Israel, Deaconess Hospital, through a very competitive process. So there's many opportunities. We're short on time.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to speak to this aspect. I think I mentioned earlier, we are the state institution, University of Colorado, for the state of Colorado. And so service is critical to our mission in regards to giving back to the community and serving the public. And so our students are heavily involved in those aspects. We have over 20 organizations on campus between our School of Pharmacy, student organizations and interest groups, as well as our campus-based interest groups. And we do a lot of interprofessional service as well. So we have right in Aurora, where our campus is located, we have a student-run interprofessional clinic that our students participated on a weekly basis. We're heavily involved in the COVID vaccine efforts in the state throughout all the CU system and serving the rural areas of Colorado in particular. And so I think you'll find for our program that we strongly encourage all of our students to participate in service-related activities. We do have our co-curricular track, which does have a lot of professional development opportunities within those service opportunities, as well as mentoring and other aspects that by the time you hit the door and through the 4th year of the program, you've really had a broad exposure to a lot of different service opportunities. That also leads to many great leadership opportunities within the student organizations and service realm as well. So again, as healthcare professionals, I think you'll hear all of us say, serving the public and patient care are critical aspects of being a healthcare professional. So thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that as well. One of the benefits of being located in the heart of LA is that there's a multitude of opportunities to be involved with community service. Most recently, West Coast University has been having its students and some of its faculty deliver the COVID vaccine to the community as well. In addition to that, we provide immunizations, blood pressure, blood glucose screenings, drug takebacks, brown bagging events at local independent pharmacies, and educational talks to senior homes. So that's just a few of the many different opportunities for community service that West Coast University provides its students. If students are interested in research, this goes back to the smaller class sizes and being able to really interact one-on-one with our faculty. We have independent research that students are able to participate with our many faculty. We have student-run organizations, and we also have opportunities within those organizations to further have some unique opportunities to deliver community service opportunities for the public.
So to quote my friend Patrick from Soren, mentoring, service loaning, co-curriculum, COVID screenings, outreach, student organizations, check. And by the way, make sure you are yourself and you become part of the fabric of pharmacy. And we give you every opportunity to become part of the fabric and have pharmacy. Even if it's not part of your DNA now, it will become part of your DNA because we give you the opportunities for leadership, outreach. Every one of our organizations is charged with doing outreach, and they have to do outreach as part of their mission and core. And our students get involved. We almost have more leadership positions than we have people willing to take them. It seems like. So a lot of people have multiple leadership opportunities, but that's an advantage for them. And that gives you the opportunity throughout our curriculum to distinguish yourself and not be one of the 12 or 15,000 PharmD graduates, but be a distinct and unique exceptional pharmacist. So that's kind of what we provide for you through the outreach. And we do a lot of that because it's important for your career, not just for us. It's important for you.
So hopefully you all see that service is very important to the profession of pharmacy. So for UOP, ditto, everything that everybody else says. And then I just want to mention one additional thing that nobody else has mentioned to date, and it's one of our signature programs at UOP. We have a Medicare Part D health outreach program. So each year our students assist nearly 1,000 beneficiaries to select the right plan for them. And this provides an overall average savings of about $1,000 per individual, in addition to ensuring that people have the right plans for their needs. At the same time, we do the health screenings, the immunizations, all of that. And a lot of these programs are targeted into underserved communities. So very proud of everything that pharmacy does just across the state, across the country.
So with that, retweet, to all of those who came before me. But again, lots of opportunities to get involved in the community, whatever way you see fit or you are interested in. We do have our one organization called UPOW, which is the Unified Professional Pharmacy Organization of Washington. And so they kind of encompass all of these organizations. So if you really want to find the leadership of the leadership role in the UW School of Pharmacy, there is the opportunity for that. And they do partner with all of the organizations to make sure that our students all have opportunities to get involved in these. I can speak that currently we have, I know of at least 50 of our students today, like as we're speaking, who are out providing COVID vaccinations through King County, which is the county we're located in, public health services. So, opportunities like that are always arising. I'm sending out emails like 2 days ago, please volunteer and get involved, and we're receiving such a great response. So lots and lots of opportunities for that, whatever way you see fit.
Yeah, similar at USC. I mean, we've, our location being in downtown LA, so many underserved populations there. We're extremely involved in the community. And it's, not just the School of Pharmacy, but USC as a larger university is very involved in the community. at the pharmacy school, through our professional student organizations, we're doing health fairs weekly in those underserved populations. And not only that, but we are extremely involved with the mayor. We're connected with Mayor Garcetti. We gave him his vaccine. Our faculty and students right now are at Dodger Stadium giving vaccines as we speak. So, we set up that whole vaccine rollout at Dodger Stadium, and continue to work with him to just ensure that we're servicing the community. So lots going on at USC as far as community service, giving back, and we continue to find ways that we can really help the community, especially Los Angeles.
So thank you so much for your responses. Now I will hand the virtual mic to Quay so that we can wrap things up.
Panelists, first of all, I would just like to sincerely thank you for all of your time today and spending your precious time on our Saturday with us in order to educate our students more about your very unique programs. And I would just like to say that, can we please get another warm round of applause for all of our wonderful panelists today? I am sure that your presence here today will help a lot of students in considering where they will be going in the next years when they're going to be applying. So thank you very much. And I believe at this time, a 5-minute break will ensue. And please return to your next designated room meeting, which is going to be room 1 for our closing statements, equal opportunity drawing, and sponsorship Jeopardy information. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for continuing to support PPD. Thank you. All right, team, you guys are almost there. Yay!
Almost to the finish. We're almost to the fun part.
Okay,
Man.
see you guys in a break.
Yeah. Get a good rest, guys.
See you guys in the main room.
See you later.
Thanks.